first time since their father's arrest last week.
In the struggle together, son. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Called like Jay-Z Theo or something. Is he like your uncle kind of low-key?
Yeah, that's my uncle right there.
You got some powerful uncles.
Son Christian, aka King Combs, is now being sued, just like his father is. A woman filed a lawsuit against King, alleging that in late 2022, right before New Year's Eve, King assaulted her on
watching it and just knowing that it's all coming to an end, 20 years of hit, it's just crazy.
No, I said it wasn't funny. I was like, that was traumatic.
Diddy's family drama is heating up as his son opens up about feeling like his dad sees him more as an asset than a person. Despite the luxury and fame, he describes a deep sense of confinement. Behind the scenes, whispers of growing tensions are becoming harder to ignore, and it looks like Diddy's empire might be taking a toll on his son. This situation is unfolding into a daddy dearest scenario with a surprising twist that could change the way we view the hip-hop mogul. It's all building to a moment that could flip everything we thought we knew about Diddy.
Before somebody take his head off. Cause see, that's that new school bull crap that these kids out here, they easy to fly out their mouth with that. You don't invite a man to your private. You don't invite a man to your private unless you doing the Diddy. If two men lay down, how many homos get up? Let me tell you, young man, 2 of them. You understand? So don't invite a man to your private because that man will see you and take your head off. Especially somebody like 50. You don't send or let a boy do a man's job. I don't know if he need that type of attention or he want that type of attention. Evidently he do.
Ever wondered what it's like to have everything but still feel empty? That's what Diddy's son seems to be experiencing. Despite living in a mansion, surrounded by luxury, designer clothes, and a hefty bank account, there's a deeper emptiness that goes beyond the glitz of private jets and red carpets. Diddy's massive empire, from music to vodka, keeps his kids in the constant spotlight. But beneath all the fame, whispers are growing that his son feels trapped in this luxurious life. It's like living in a gilded cage, where fame and fortune become golden handcuffs, making escape feel impossible. In celebrity families, this struggle is real, like being trapped in a diamond-studded straitjacket.
Defendant, Christian Combs. Yo, it's shot o'clock. Plaintiff, Grace, no, I'm not doing shots, Christian. Defendant, Christian Combs. Everybody, we gotta take a shot. Audio 2. Plaintiff, I'll just put the ledge. That's Grace. Defendant, Christian, no. Take the whole thing. Plaintiff, no, you will take it as well. Christian, take the whole shot. Plaintiff, I'm only doing it as long as you take it as well. Christian, I ain't gonna lie, I'm not taking nothing. Please take the shot. You are drugging me? Plaintiff says. Christian, take the shot. Hey, yo, play another beat one time because now it's interesting. Why not give the whole audio? It bugs me, but still enough in here is strange. But I don't know why it's cut. But apparently then cuts, and then we hear Cassie's Me and You featuring P. Diddy and Young Jock playing in the background as then this SA happens on the plaintiff. Cassie, this is not an offer. Christian, you said what? Plaintiff, I can't. I'm swapping out. I can't do it. I'm sorry, darling. Christian, no, we need you. Plaintiff, I'm going to stop. I have to go. Honestly, I'm like already losing sleep. I have to go now. Now, it's important just to remind everybody, she's been doing the 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. shift. This is at the end of her shift. She is there to take care of her A-list clients on this yacht. That's what the job is. The bosses, everybody need to apply. Make sure that these A-list clients are doing well. Her client is Sean Combs and now Sean Combs' son. And she's being pressured into this to stay, to drink, to do all this stuff. She's trying to get out of the room. You're the best one on this ship, though, Christian says. What do you mean? She responds. Christian, who's going to replace you? Who's going to replace me? Defendant Christian, F that. That's going to be trash, though. You feel me? Plaintiff, excuse me, you don't touch my legs like that. I'll move my legs where I want to. Plaintiff, if I want to do this, then I will. You don't touch, then I will. You don't touch my legs like that, says Grace. Christian, listen, you and everybody in the crew, it's great. Plaintiff, Grace, I can't. I have to go down. I have to go down. Christian, no. Yo, tell me, listen. Grace, what? Christian, like you're just vibing with me the whole time. Like, just say it. Plaintiff, I can't. I promise you, I wish I could, but I can't, unless I say that you guys requested me. Defendant Christian, yes, who can I talk to right now? Who can I talk to? I'm going to say I requested you right now. Plaintiff, well, you can take your hand off my ass for the first thing. Now, again, I don't know if there's more audio, why it's selective. Maybe these are the most important parts, and then it ends, but even so.
Let's take a look at other celebrity kids who've faced their own struggles. Remember when Willow Smith shaved her head? It wasn't just a fashion choice. It was her way of reclaiming her identity. And who can forget Lindsay Lohan's battles to break free from her parents' influence? Now, the big question is, what's really going on behind the walls of Diddy's estate? Rumors are swirling about the immense pressure his son is under. It seems Diddy's presence is so overwhelming that his son can't shine on his own. Then, out of nowhere, Diddy's son posted a cryptic message on social media. Sometimes the price of greatness is your soul. If that's not a cry for help, I don't know what is. This is just the beginning. There are many layers to this story, and we're about to dive into them.
50 is the wrong dude that you want to do that type of attention, get that kind of attention from, bro. In the infamous words of Waka Flocka, that nigga go hard in the paint. And I don't believe that this cat would even put out some trash like that and really didn't know what he was doing. He's teasing the federal government. And I told y'all, the Southern District of New York do not play. So King Kong just put another battery in their back. And you see after he did that shit, something get leaked to the press. Do you notice that, right? As soon as he did that dumb shit, talking about, well, we did this and we did that. We had this over here. Y'all went to the wrong house. Some went to, he said, well, we're going to show you how wrong we are. Yo, CNN, run this. Action, roll them. Don't play with the feds, bro. Because you got to realize this. They got a lot of time. All they got is time. Yo, they going to sit there, people sitting up there, and they want something. See, people like a fix. They need that fix real quick. They want them to hurry up and charge Diddy with something or see what they got on him. The feds gonna take their time. May take 6 months, may take a year, may take 2 years. They got up to 3 years to bring their case up. They got 3 years. So they checking everything about them. They're gonna dot all the I's and cross all the T's.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people feel like he played a part in that video coming up. You know, him making a comment saying that, you know, they forgot to raid the house next door that his dad owned. Yeah, man, he was wilding out, man.
Yeah, I think he was just bullshitting. I don't believe he bought the house next door. Because let me just tell you something. If anything or any name that had to do with Bad Boy, the federal government going to run that. They know all the properties Diddy have. They wasn't even talking about the raid that they did in New York, but they did a raid in New York too.
Let's dive deeper into this situation because things are really heating up. You've probably heard the saying, money can't buy happiness, but in Diddy's world, it might just be buying silence. What if being Diddy's heir comes with a much higher price tag than anyone realizes? We often see him portraying himself as the devoted dad, posting family vacation photos, walking red carpets, and giving heartfelt award speeches where he proudly talks about his children. He seems to be striving for that Father of the Year title. But behind those designer shades and million-dollar smiles, the reality might be much different.
It's clear as day, and that's not an automatic. That's not a given. Until we actually hear the audio, there are any number of ways to potentially attack this dialogue that's been portrayed here and that has been alleged to have taken place. The audio might not be clear. There might not be a bulletproof way of identifying who is doing the speaking and exactly what they're saying and so forth. And it gets all back to the question of authentication, where if this is played in court or even before it's played in court, somebody's going to have to identify what was the source of this information, who made the recording, who has kept it between the time it was made and the time it's played in court. How do we authenticate and how do we prove that the person who's alleged to be speaking is actually the person who is speaking? All of these kinds of things all have to be hashed out in court. At the end of the day, though, the jury, presuming, I believe there's a jury demand in this case, it's going to be a jury who sits and says, hey, we believe that these are the actual people that are alleged to be on this recording. We believe that this did actually take place. It's not AI. It's not any other kind of, manipulation. Taken within the totality of all the circumstances and the totality of the evidence, we think it's more likely than not that this actually took place, and therefore we're going to give a win to the plaintiff in this case, this woman who has brought the lawsuit. So it's not an automatic by any stretch of imagination, but if it can be authenticated,
it gets through that vetting. If this is real audio, not a good look for Christian in either.
No,
jury.
absolutely not. Absolutely not. If it passes the sniff test, then it's potentially very, very problematic. You're absolutely right.
And the rest of this case, we don't have as much evidence. It's going to be a he said, she said. But this type of damning audio, as Kim, you've said it before, in a civil case, right? It's only 51% need to agree. And I would imagine, Kim, your thoughts in reading this transcript now, because we've only seen sort of snippets through NBC, but in reading this transcript now, this is pretty hard to come back from if it's real, right?
Yes, I would agree. I mean, if the question is, was she touched without her consent? And, did she voice that she did not want to be touched in that manner? If this audio is authenticated, it's pretty clear that no, she did not want this interaction. This is SA.
Being a celebrity kid is tough, especially with a dad like Diddy. It's not just about carrying the family name, it's about trying to stand out on your own. Imagine the struggle of making your own mark while living in the shadow of someone as massive as King Kong. Experts call this narcissistic parenting, where parents see their children as extensions of themselves. Dr. Sherblake, a psychologist who works with celebrity families, explains that this pressure only gets worse when you're in the public eye. Recently, rumors have surfaced about a major conflict between Diddy and his son. Apparently, his son wanted to pursue something outside the family business, but Diddy wasn't supportive. Reports say there were heated arguments and threats to cut off financial support, basically a my way or the highway situation. But when that highway is paved with gold, walking away isn't so simple.
Yeah, I ain't hear about that raid. I only heard about the LA and Miami raid. But you feel like the feds, they released that video over King Kong's comments.
Oh man, I've worked in law enforcement for 27 years, and I had the opportunity to see Hyder. It's a place, whereas they have the state, the feds, the NYPD, the Department of Corrections, and the state police. Yo, this place could be half of a basketball court. That's where they just got lines of computers with officers of all different people and officers just on the internet. whoever's over that case, whoever's working that case, don't you know they saw that and took it to their boss? You might think it's petty, but it's not. You do not agitate a lion with a pork chop. And that's what that kid did, bro.
Some people feel like, Diddy, he played a part in that video coming out too. Him being spotted with Stevie J, smiling at the camera. A lot of people blame him too.
But bro, what did I tell you? He's such a narcissist that he has to be in the public. Listen to me. They just caught him on TMZ today or yesterday or something like that, walking out and about. Now, I'm not telling the man what to do, what he couldn't do. I don't know if the government told he couldn't travel nowhere, he couldn't be nowhere and stuff like that. But why are you going to go outside your own compound where TMZ and every other place is waiting on you? You're not going to get any public sympathy. That's why he had that picture of him and his father around his neck. You're not going to get no sympathy. You're done. Stick a fork in it. Call it a quit. Apologize to Big's mother for putting her son in that position that he loses his life. It's crazy. He better do a Russell Simmons.
Yeah, a lot of people saying that, man. They saying that he gonna pull a Russell Simmons.
Well, anything's possible, bro, but I don't know if the feds will allow him since they got an open investigation on him.
Living between your dad's empire and your own dreams is just the start. What happens when the perks of privilege come with anxiety, depression, and an unrelenting spotlight? Growing up with a silver spoon might seem like a dream, but for celebrity kids, especially in the hip-hop world, it often feels like living in a golden cage with flashing lights as the prison bars. Sure, they have designer clothes and bank accounts most people can only dream of, but at what cost? The mental health struggles are real. These kids are trying to find their own identities while the world watches, judges, and waits for any misstep. It's like being trapped in a reality show they never asked to be a part of. For children of hip-hop moguls like Diddy, the pressure is overwhelming. They aren't just expected to succeed, they're expected to outshine their legendary parents, constantly battling to live up to and surpass an entire legacy.
The message coming as another accuser goes public with allegations against Combs. Talia Graves claims in a civil lawsuit Combs and his bodyguard drugged, bound, and raped her in 2001 and filmed it.
It's a pain that reaches into your very core of who you are and leaving emotional scars that may never fully heal.
We've seen far too many hurtful and false rumors about our parents' relationship and our mom's tragic passing, and we feel it's time to set the record straight. Claims that our mom wrote a book are completely false. She did not. Anyone claiming to have a manuscript is misleading others. A 60-page, unverified book was published earlier this month, falsely claiming to be a collection of Kim Porter's diaries. Kim passed away in 2018 at the age of 47. We want to make one thing clear. Our mother should be remembered for the beautiful, strong, kind, and loving woman she was. Her memory should not be tainted by baseless conspiracy theories. This statement comes as another accuser, Talia Graves, has made serious allegations against Diddy. Graves claims in a civil lawsuit that in 2001, Diddy and his bodyguard drugged, bound, and raped her, even filming the attack. The emotional pain from such trauma runs deep and leaves scars that may never fully heal. Diddy, 54, has pleaded not guilty to charges accusing him of leading a criminal conspiracy. These legal battles only add to the growing concerns. Studies show that children of celebrities are twice as likely to suffer from anxiety and depression compared to their non-famous peers. Substance abuse is also a common issue. So, how is all of this affecting Diddy's son? Rumors suggest that behind those designer shades, he's facing serious mental health struggles. Sources say his anxiety is so intense it feels like he can't breathe, and his depression hits harder than some of Diddy's classic 90s hits. There's even speculation that he's quietly seeking therapy, with rehab possibly being considered. While we can't confirm the details, where there's smoke, there's often fire.
Persky joins me now with more on this. Aaron, how significant is it to have a new accuser making claims like this on camera as Diddy's facing these criminal charges?
Well, look, she is detailing in an anguished appearance with her attorney, Gloria Allred, what she said happened to her in 2001 and the lasting impact that she said it had on her, and coming after Sean Combs' arrest on criminal charges perhaps lends some additional credibility because he's already been charged in a racketeering conspiracy that sought out women for abuse.
She's also filed a civil suit. Could that affect the criminal case at all?
The civil suit is at least the 12th filed against Sean Diddy Combs, and the first one from last November by Cassie Ventura is really what touched off the criminal case that led to Diddy's arrest and subsequent not guilty plea on the 3 criminal counts. Without the civil suit, there are probably not criminal charges against Sean Combs, but all the civil cases are now likely to be paused while the criminal case takes priority.
Now, some of Combs' children issued this statement on Instagram, speaking out in defense of their mother, but they didn't really mention their father. What do you make of that?
It was an interesting statement coming a little more than a week after Combs' arrest here in New York. And the children seemed quite protective of Kim Porter's legacy because there's this 60-page unverified manuscript online that claims to be Kim Porter's diary entries or a compilation of some of her thoughts. And the children said that it just isn't true. And they didn't want her and her memory commingled with him and the criminal case that he's now facing.
And what's next in that case now?
He's back in court in early October. For now, he is being housed in protective custody at a federal jail in Brooklyn. He's in a dormitory-style open housing cell with Sam.
When the child of hip-hop royalty starts making waves, you know something big is brewing. Rumors are swirling that Diddy's son might be looking for a way out, and the stakes couldn't be higher. With whispers of secret meetings with lawyers, it seems like he's gearing up for a move that could send shockwaves through the industry. Life in the spotlight isn't all glitz and glamour. It can feel like golden handcuffs. For Diddy's son, escaping the pressures of fame and family power might mean risking everything, even a personal breakdown. He's trapped in a world he never signed up for, like living in a never-ending music video with no control over the script. Breaking free from a family as influential as the Combs clan is no small feat if the rumors are true. This could be the start of a bold move to reclaim his own story. But with so much at stake, it's clear, whatever happens next could change everything.
And it's really sad that the whole situation of this, as you read through the entire lawsuit and you kind of see the environment that she was placed in and how she was set up in this place where she was probably terrified to say anything. At the end of it all, based on the lawsuit, it does sound like she did lose her job. It impacted her personal life, her relationship, her family life, everything. She lost so much because of this incident, if all of this is to be true. So I really hope that if this all is true, that the audio can be authenticated, because I think it's going to be crucial in her case.
And just for full, so I want to go visit. Audio was recorded by Jones, allegedly. NBC News has heard 2 clips of audio transcribed in the suit, purportedly from the night, but has not verified who was recorded, which is important. As John said, again, we need to vet this. We don't need to go through that sort of legitimizing it. But there allegedly is audio that's claiming to be this. And it's interesting there as I go back and read that, only 2. They only heard 2, and there are, I guess it is 2.
There are the 2.
It's 1 and then the longer one. Okay, got it. So there's only the 2. So they've heard it. This audio apparently exists. I would, Mr. Blackburn, share it more. What's going on? If you're giving it to one press outlet, give it to other press outlets, because if this is real, we need to get the word out. If it's not, why are you sharing it? Or, if it's private, why are you sharing it with certain outlets? I hope they do, so we can definitively figure out, is this real or not? Because I think it's important information to know. So Diddy's lawyer slammed this lawsuit against son, expected the same kind of manufactured lies. Youngest son, Christian, slams, the lawyers behind slammed it. Again, they're going after Tyrone Blackburn. And I want to connect that because the last suit was kind of sloppy at times. Is that going to affect this? Do you think this one plays better because it's got the transcript and board? Or is there a version of this where this could be a shakedown by this Blackburn attorney who has had previous grievances? Does any of that come into play for you, John?
Well, I'm assuming that he's gotten a little bit sharper and a little bit smarter since he filed the case in New York, the Little Rod case. I mean, and that was a little unusual. All of a sudden, he's had to go back several times and file a First Amendment complaint, then file a First Amendment complaint, first amended complaint, then a second amended complaint, which somewhere along the line there was one or more procedural problems where you typically have to ask the court for leave or permission to file an amended complaint. Apparently that was not done in the way that the court expected it to be done. Most courts have their federal rules of civil procedure, and then there are usually some local rules as well. Somehow he managed to run afoul of those rules in terms of asking the court to file an amended complaint and so forth. And the reason he was filing amended complaints, I mean, for instance, the first, I think it was first amended complaint, had 72 pages, did not mention Cuba Gooding Jr., as I recall. Second amended complaint that he tried to file was up close to 100 pages, 90 or 100 pages, and all of a sudden it did include Cuba Gooding Jr. And you got to ask yourself, well, why? How did Cuba Gooding Jr. get left out of the original complaint and the First Amendment complaint? How did someone that important to the case not get included the first time you went through the exercise? It just is a little bit of a question that. There might be, for all I know, there might be a perfectly legitimate reason, but at the same time, it's a little bit odd.
Yeah.
But,
speaking of odd and speaking of Cuba Gooding Jr. again, here's that portion I found of current plaintiff defendant Combs chartered a yacht, witnessed several A-listers on board, including rappers Redacted, as well as Redacted and Cuba Gooding Jr. And then they go on to talk about how unpleasant he was. And if you go down to the little footnotes, they're like giving little clues and Easter eggs as to who the redacted people are. A Philadelphia rapper, anyway, it's all very strange to me. So there is still a little bit of a messiness to this lawsuit, you would say.
Rebelling against your parents is never easy, but when your dad has endless connections and a bank account that seems bottomless, it's a whole different challenge. We're talking about the risk of lawsuits, being financially cut off in the blink of an eye, and even getting blacklisted in the industry.